And the way we're going to do that is we're going to look at where your life began. And so let's get on that road to review your life. And as we journey on this road, you're going to begin to understand why those things that happened when you were born, around the time you were born, may still be influencing your life right now. And you're going to learn how to review your life as we're on this journey and strategically shift to get the outcomes that you so deeply desire. It was Eleanor Roosevelt who said people grow through experience if they meet life courageously and honestly. And this is how character is built. And Eleanor Roosevelt knew what she was talking about as she survived sickness and death, and even went on to overcome to help her husband, Franklin Roosevelt, the former president of the United States of America. And so when we look at this, we realize that we will grow through our experiences only if we meet them honestly and courageously. And so our character is built, and that's how our lives will be transformed. When we think about our lives as we were born and what transpired around the time that we were born, there were particular dynamics that took place that we had absolutely no control over. And we have to think about the fact, when we think about that fact, we realize we didn't choose the day, we didn't choose the hour, we didn't choose the place. We couldn't even choose the parents to whom we were born. And we come to realize that there were so many things we had absolutely nothing to do with. And all of these factors, though, directly impact who we are today. And every single day we rehearse that script. If we don't do anything about it, it will continue to impact us, our behaviors, our belief systems. It will continue to impact the way we think and the way we do things. So this is very, very important information for us to understand how we arrived at where we are today, at our beginning point on the journey to totally transform your life. And so this is all of these things make up who you are uniquely today, and all of the parameters that surround your birth make you a unique and distinct individual, different than anybody else. All you have to do is look at the tips of your fingers and see that you were imprinted with a very unique personality and a unique destiny. Everyone has different fingerprints, and that's living proof that you were designed to be different and to do something marvelously great in the world. Why is that important? Because even though there were a lot of things that you could not control when you were born, there are so many things that you are directly in control of right now. I look at my own life, and when I was born, I was born to my mom in that poverty situation. Excuse me, and what made the situation even more intense was the fact that my mother was going to have triplets. Yes, I am one of a triplet. And what is just absolutely amazing is that even though there were 3 of us born at the same time on the same day, slightly different minutes apart, we are so unique in our personality. We think differently, we have different temperaments, there are different things that we like, but then there are also things that we also enjoy and find tremendous similarities. And with that being said, even though we're all so different, we all need the very basic, simple things that are the same. We all need love, we all need acceptance, and we all need to do something powerful in the world. We all need to make our presence known in the world. And so with that being said, and with that understanding, we move into this idea of the journey that leads us to a transformed life. And as we journey this road to review your life, I want you to think about the moment that you were born. It may have been a proud moment when the doctor announced your entrance into the world, or it could have been a sad moment. I don't know. But no matter what that was, there is no one exactly like you, and you have a very special purpose for being alive, and that is a identity that only you can have and you can embrace. It doesn't matter whether it was good, bad, or indifferent. I want you to know that you are special. And you have something special to bring to the world. And even if you have achieved something really great in your life, it may be a great position of power. You may be a celebrity and have arrived at a platform that only very few get to. Or you may have be a mother or have a family that you're very proud of. I want you to know that those things are so wonderful, but then there may be some things in your life that are not so great. You may have reached the highest height and achieved a great level of maybe you're the president of a corporation or a football star or a singer or a dancer that everyone knows. You may be an icon, but you're failing in your personal life. You may have recurring dreams or negative dreams that nightmares that wake you up at night, or you may not have good interpersonal relationships. You may be struggling with your health. So the destination transformation is designed to help you get your entire life aligned to exactly where you would like for it to be, and it starts with a road to review your life. And so the first step is to take an honest assessment of where you've been. It's been said you can't possibly know where you're going if you don't know where you've been. And if you don't know where you're going, how in the world will you know when you get there? So this is the time to take stock of your life and think about your journey so far. And let's put in the navigation system where our location is. Let the navigation system find where you are so that we can know how to get you to where you need to be. And we can learn some very important destiny clues about where you're going based upon where you've been and where you are right now. When I reviewed my own life, I saw recurring themes, and I'm using some of the very same principles and proven strategies that I'm going to share with you over the course of this Destination Transformation e-course. I'm going to share exactly the very things that I use to help me to get to where I am today. A very peaceful, harmonious, and joyful life. I'm very satisfied and very fulfilled with where I am right now. But I had to take an honest I had to take stock of my life and make an honest assessment of where I am. And so when I did that, I noticed that there was a recurring theme of abandonment and rejection that I had experienced in my life that really had a negative impact on who I am and who I was at the time. And I realized that the reason why that kept happening was because I would give certain people that I loved, absolute trust over my life. And what I learned how to do was to put the necessary boundaries in place to keep myself from getting set up and from being in abusive relationships. And also so that I can then now posture myself to bring into my life those people who would love and appreciate me for who I am and for what I bring to the table. And so likewise, you have to do the same thing. You have to make this assessment so that you can put the necessary boundaries in place to keep yourself from being set up to get negative responses. This is very intentional, and it's also very strategic. And so we have to be intentional to learn something from all of the negative experiences that we have been through. We have to learn something positive. We have to be intentional to find out what it is that we can extrapolate from that negative experience so that we can use it as a tool to transform our lives. And so now I want you to think honestly about your life. Think about the good things that may have happened and even the bad things because really the bottom line is these things shape your life and they shape your thinking as well as they shape your behavior. So what's the most important thing about that is even though these things happened in the past and even though you may have had bad experiences, it doesn't matter because it doesn't make all the difference in the world because you have the power to transform and change that bad situation in your life into something very powerfully positive. And the beautiful thing is all those positive things that have happened in your life, you can accentuate them and build on them. And you might be saying, you don't know, you have no idea how bad my life is. Dr. LaVerne, I don't feel very powerful right now. That's perfectly fine. That's why I'm here alongside with you to join you on this journey. I've developed this course to help you to discover that innate and unique power that's within you that you can create for yourself a pretty amazing and awesome life. I believe that when God created you, He created you with a dream in mind about how awesome your life would be. And so I want you to understand right here and right now that even though you may have experienced some negative things, they're not an indicator of where your life is headed in the end. And so ultimately, we have the power to control those things that happen in our lives. What matters is not what happened to you, but what are you going to do about what happened to you that instantly shifts you from being a victim to a victor, because now you have the power to change that experience. And so I want you to take a minute, turn the tape off if you need to, and I want you to assess some negative experience, a negative memory that may have happened in your life. And I want you to know I'm here with you to help guide you. You're not alone in this. And sometimes what we do is we take negative memories and we bury them. And the unfortunate thing about that is negative memories, like all memories, are like seeds. If you bury them in your self-conscious and try to keep them from being dealt with, what will happen is they will take root in your life and they will begin to be a stronghold like a tree, build a foundation, and they will bring forth a fruit, and that could be good or bad. It could be something very negative. For example, there may be things that you experiences or emotions that you cannot control as a result of some hidden and buried memories that have yet to be resolved. And I just want you to know this is your time to transform all of that by a very simple tool that I'm going to teach you how to use. And so take this information and jot it down. You may want to write it down in a journal, in your workbook, your Destination Transformation workbook. And it's going to be some very helpful information to help you understand where you are so that we can get you to where you need to be. And so now let's take a test drive. Let's take a test drive and think about the thing that surrounded your life. I am right next to you on this vehicle to transform your life. And so you don't have to worry. You're not alone. Think about the situations that may have surrounded your birth. It may have been very joyful or very sad. For my mom, I'm sure it was a very sad moment because she actually had to ask the nurse when we were born if we could stay in the hospital for a little while until she found us a place to live. Can you imagine how sad that could have been for her? In a moment that should have been very joyful to hear that you have 3 beautiful triplet girls, now is very sad because you don't have any way to provide for them and you don't have any place for them to live. And so I want to invite you to this very honest, naked, and sacred moment to explore that moment when you were born. Or another negative scenario that may come up in your memory, and be honest and aware of how those circumstances may have shaped your life. Every time I get up to speak to people, I have to press past the obstacles of homelessness, unemployment. I have to press past low self-esteem and all of those things that could have kept me down and kept me bound to a very low and unsatisfying life. And so I want to invite you to take an opportunity to honestly assess your life and to see and determine what things could have happened in the beginning of your life that actually now are keeping you from having the satisfaction that you and the meaning that you so desire. For example, you could have been born into poverty, and this would dynamically affect the way you view money and the way you use money. It could keep you in a position where you give it away too quickly, or that you don't understand the value of money or how to use money, or it could affect the way you hold on to it and don't let it go so that it can't grow and produce for you more money. This experience definitely would have had an impact on your self-esteem and how you view others and how others view you. So I want you to take a minute. You can stop the tape if you like and begin to write down those scenarios of what, just one right now, because you're going to have an opportunity to do it over and over and over again once you learn this dynamic tool that I'm going to share with you. Begin to look for patterns and recurring themes that continue to appear as a result of this past negative scenario. It may keep coming up and replaying over and over again, and I want you to know that you're not as powerless over it as you might believe, and I'm going to show you the trick that's going to turn that all around. I want you to understand and